So, welcome to geometry. This is our classroom agreement. Every teacher will start today with a classroom agreement. There's going to be a lot of things that look similar to other classes, but I have changed the first page. So this will be different from every other one. So it's important to know that some teachers have different policies than I do. If you ever forget what those are, this is for you to keep in your folder. You can always look back and see what I expect from you as a student in this class. So the very first thing that we want to do is we'll notice that there is a Google Classroom code. Has anybody in this room never used Google Classroom before? So everyone is somewhat familiar. Okay, so what I would like for you guys to do, if you have not already gotten in the classroom, I always like to recommend if you have a smartphone, an Android, an iPhone, something like that, get the Google Classroom app on your phone. That way you don't have to get on a computer to see what's due. If you're in a pinch, you can check it anywhere that you are. And I'm going to pull up that app on my phone and show you. Let's see. I know my phone is not in color, but it looks like, well, it disappeared. Where did it go? I'll just search it. Google Classroom. Okay, it's right here. So I'm going to click on that. And you may have classes that you were in previously from last term. If you don't have a smartphone, I also have computers in the back of the room. Feel free to grab one of those if you don't want to do it on your phone. But if you do it on your phone, you can open that app, sign in with your Google account through Goodwill. And if anyone needs help with that, let me know. But to add a new class, in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a little plus sign. And you'll hit that plus button, join class. And then where it says class code, this is where you're going to type that Google Classroom code that I have highlighted on your agreement. So RXY 2II-B5. And you all should have that on your paper. Once you have it typed in, you just click join. And it probably won't let me get in because I am the teacher of this class, but it should let you get into that class. And it looks like right now 6 of you have already joined, which is wonderful. So I'm going to pause this recording while we all get signed into Google Classroom. I want to make sure we are all on here. So everybody is in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an example of a class from last term. So what you will see each week on Google Classroom, let me find a post that makes sense. You will see a post with what week it is. So this was from week 7 last term. And then I will tell you the dates. And I like to count our classes by day. So example, today is day 1, first day of class. And so this was from days 24 to 27 last term. I will always give you a list of the topics that we're going to be talking about for that week. And then at the bottom of the post, I will tell you everything that is due that week. All of our assignments are due on Fridays. So anything that I assign you this week will be due this Friday at noon. We do not have classes on Friday, so you should be able to do that pretty easily as long as you're staying caught up. Something else you'll see is on the posts, these are the lesson videos for that week. So if you ever want to see those, you just click on it and there you go. You'll be able to see exactly what you missed. And it will look just like what you're seeing on the screen right here, but it will be on a smaller screen. So let's close that out. And that's kind of what you can expect from Google Classroom. And now we'll go back to our agreement, and I just want to run you through all of these things on here. So each day that we meet as a class, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, you will receive a grade for attendance. Now, that means if you are present in class like you all are, you got a 5 out of 5 for the day, 100%, A plus. All of you are starting with an A plus in here, which is great news. If you are absent with communication, what does that mean? That means what counts as communication is you can send me an email if you can't be here. You can make a post on Google Classroom, or you can call me. At the top of this agreement, all of my information is there. This is my email. This is the number you can call. And of course, Google Classroom as well. All you have to do is just give me a short explanation. Why can't you be here? And let me know before class starts. I will excuse or exempt your attendance points for that day. So what it will look like on the grade book is, instead of a 5 out of 5, I will write EX, which means exempt. It will have no effect on your grade as long as you communicate with me. So it won't hurt your grade. It won't help your grade. Your grade will just stay the same. Now, if you are absent and you do not communicate with me, meaning you just don't show up, kind of like a no call, no show, that does go against your grade. You will get a 0 out of 5 for that day, which is a 0% incomplete. Keep in mind, it is only 5 points. So, I understand every once in a while something happens. You oversleep. You don't get to tell me that you won't be here before class starts. If you have a day or two like that, are you going to fail this class? No, it's only 5 points. That doesn't mean it's not important. If you do it tons of times, eventually those points do add up. But to avoid that, just communicate with me. And if you have any questions about that, of course, you're always welcome to ask anything. I love questions. Because odds are, if you're confused about something and you're wondering, there's probably somebody else in the room that is also wondering the same thing. So you're helping whenever you ask a question. So that is how attendance works in here. And before we go on to talk about your actual assignments and work, does anybody have questions about attendance? I'll let that soak in for a minute. Slowly make our way down. All right, so now we'll talk about assignments themselves. So each day of class, you will complete what we call an exit ticket at the end of class. All exit tickets assigned for the week are due on Fridays at 12 p.m. unless otherwise specified, meaning maybe there's a day that I say, I need you to turn this in before you leave instead of on a Friday. If there is an assignment with a different due date, that will be written on the board over there besides the folders. That's where I will also write your assignments in case you can't get access to Google Classroom. I will also post that different due date on Classroom. I'll make sure that you know. I try to make things as clear as possible so that there's no question about it. Now, as far as assignments go, there is a policy that I have in here for late work. I'm not a big fan of if you turn it in late, you just get a 0. I'm not going to do that. But there is little penalties for each day that things are turned in late, just because if I didn't put that penalty on there, I would have what happened last year where I would get 20 assignments turned into me all at once on the last day because they're it's just a little too much to keep up with. So if you turn in an assignment one day late, and when I say day, I'm talking about class days. So if something is due on Friday and you turn it in on Monday, I know that there is Saturday, Sunday, Monday in between. I don't count the weekend. If you turn it in on Monday, it is one day late. So the highest grade you could get is a 90% or an A-, which is still a great grade. Not to say that you should always turn things in one day late. That will eventually catch up with you. But basically, try to turn your stuff in on time.
Turn into adults and being.
Yes. And the other thing is this should be very easy to do as long as you're staying caught up, and especially if you show up to class, because I do not assign homework. I do not believe in homework because you guys have busy lives. You're adults, you have jobs, you have kids, you have families. So everything that I assign you, I will make my best effort to give you the time that you need to finish it before you leave. Um, that doesn't necessarily mean that you will always be able to finish it before you leave, but that is what our Fridays are for. No class on Friday. That's a makeup day for anybody that misses class or just needs more time to complete assignments. Um, and that's basically how that goes. Do we have any questions about assignments? Does everybody feel good about the assignment policy? We know what happens if we turn something in late. Okay. Perfect. Let's move to the next page. So on the back page, we have a section about assignment corrections. So what that means is, let's say you complete an exit ticket in this class and you are not happy with the grade that you earn on that exit ticket, on any assignment, on a quiz even. You in this class are allowed to make corrections to anything that you got wrong, and you can turn that assignment back into me. Anything that you have corrected properly, if you are able to fix it and make it into the right answer, I will give you half credit for all of those mistakes that you have corrected. So, for example, if you complete an assignment and you miss 3 points, if you correct those points, you can earn up to 1.5 points back. So making corrections can really be worth it to raise your grade back up if you're missing some points. Now, something to note about assignment corrections. Assignments that are turned in late are not eligible for corrections. So your corrections do need to be completed and turned in by Friday at noon during office hours. That being said, I don't know how other teachers have done grading and how quickly they get things back to you. This, I promise you, is 100% possible for you to do. Math is luckily the easiest subject to grade. I will grade your things very quickly. Typically, I can give it back to you within maybe 5 minutes, or if you don't want to wait for me to finish it, I'll have it back to you by the next day usually. And of course, if I take too long to let you make corrections, we can always talk about extending things. Just, communicate with me. I will work with you. I like to go by that golden rule of treat others the way you want to be treated. And I am going to give you guys the grace that I would want to be given because I am not perfect. I turn things in late sometimes. And I know that that may happen with some of you sometimes. So I'm, going to be understanding as long as you communicate and explain what's going on. So I'll let you guys kind of read over that again. And if you have any questions about how assignment corrections work, now is a great time to ask. I'll let you think about that for a minute.
Looking at this mouse.
Oh, yeah, his is a little different. Okay, we'll go ahead and move on to the last section that is specific to this class. And it says, how do I get caught up if I miss class? It will happen. That's okay. Or maybe it won't. I've had students with perfect attendance. But life happens. Sometimes you can't be here. If you want to know what you have missed, check Google Classroom. Every single week, I will make a post with all of the weekly assignments that are due on that Friday. And just as a note, this post may be updated throughout the week, so be sure to check it. I will always tell you if I change something. You will also see any assignments due written on the board next to your folders, and I will keep that updated every single week. So that is a great place to look. You can also, of course, ask me, but I will likely ask you if you checked Google Classroom, and then I can help you if you're having trouble with that. Next bullet point here, again, every lesson that I teach is recorded, and I post it on Google Classroom each day. So if you miss a day of class, this part is important. It is your responsibility to watch the lesson video from the day you missed so you don't get too far behind, okay? If you do not have access to internet where you are, maybe talk to me. We can see what we can do to kind of help you out with that. I know typically I will not go the full class time. I like to leave a little extra time for people to catch up at the end if need be, but try not to rely on that because we are now in an upper level class. This is geometry. So we do move quickly, and I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed. If you're starting to feel overwhelmed, the main thing is talk to me, communicate with me. That takes me to the third point. I want you to do well in this class. I truly love my job. I am passionate about what I do. And it's because of you guys. I really care about all of you. And if you are struggling, tell me, okay? I want to help you. I will help you. It is literally my job to help you. I get paid to be here. So, I'm never gonna be upset about a question. If you're confused, tell me. My goal is for nobody to leave this room feeling completely lost. If you're feeling that way, talk to me. I'm not gonna be judgmental. I'm not scary. I don't think.
You're
But
an amazing teacher.
thank you. Okay.
Fight too hard.
Yeah, not too hard.
What are you doing in there?
Okay, do we have any questions about how to get caught up if you're missing class ever? Any questions about that? Okay. All right. And if any questions do arise, ask me at the end of class. We can talk, anything like that. So we'll go ahead and flip to this side, which I am not going to go through every single second of this. This is a lot. This, if you have had other classes today, I'm sure your teachers have touched on this. This is the copy and paste from all the other agreements, this page and the very back page. What I'm going to do is just point out kind of the main things from the sections that I want to emphasize. So as far as student conduct goes, first of all, what does that mean? Does anyone know what student conduct means? How to behave. It's your behavior. Conduct is how you conduct yourself, like the conductor of a train, the one that controls it. How do you control yourself in a classroom setting? We are adults, so you would think a lot of it doesn't need to be said, but a lot of us haven't been in a classroom setting for many, many, many years, and that is the reality of our school. We have such a diverse group of people. And so it's good to just make sure that we understand what's okay, what's not okay, and that we're clear on that. So basically, the main things that I am worried about, what's going to bother me as a teacher, if your phone is constantly going off in class, I'm going to get a little bit annoyed with you probably. If it happens, it happens. I'm not going to be mad. My phone will probably go off at some point. We forget. If your phone goes off, if it rings or whatever, just put it on silent. If you have a phone call that is super important that you need to take, just step out into the hallway and take it out there, just so that we don't interrupt the class. You don't have to tell me if you need to go. You're an adult. I don't need to know your business. You go take care of what you need to take care of. Just not in here. We don't want to disrupt our learning. Let's see. Using headphones while using electronic devices. So let's say You come into class and during our kind of opening activity, maybe you're catching up on, you missed yesterday's lesson, so you're watching the video. Put some headphones in maybe so we're not blasting that out and distracting others. Um, Basically just don't be interrupting while I'm teaching you. I won't interrupt you while you're talking to me about something. It goes back to that golden rule. I'm going to treat you the way I want you to treat me. Let's see. This is another important one. Leaving my space better than I found it upon entering the classroom. So really throw away any trash, clean up crumbs, etc. I'm never going to be upset if you're eating in here. That is fine. There's going to be times that I am eating while I'm teaching because lunch is right before this and it's not a super long lunch. Just, if you make a mess, clean it up. Messes happen. It's not the end of the world. Don't leave all your trash all over the table. If you're erasing stuff and you're leaving the eraser shavings all over the place and
Clean it up.
yeah. Well, we do have a wonderful custodian, but
Gotta take in some soup.
oh yeah. But we are adults. I would love if we could leave this space nice and clean because if you don't pick up after yourself, I'm not picking up after you. That's not my job. And then, the students that come in after you are having to enter the room to a messy space, and that's not fair. Be respectful.
Here.
We're adults here. We know how to pick up after ourselves,
Exactly.
Another thing, if you do borrow a laptop, please put it back when you're done. And please plug it back in so that they don't die and run out of battery so other students can't use it. Everything else I feel like is fairly common sense. If you have questions about anything, you can always just ask. Feel free to read through that. It's pretty standard stuff. Moving on to electronic devices, that's exactly what we talked about. Don't be disruptive. Moral of the story. And then on to academic integrity. This first part here talks about plagiarism, which is not as relevant in a math classroom because this is mostly referring to copying words and phrases, like stealing sentences from an essay. I'm not going to make you write any essays in here. But what is relevant to math is copying another student's work, sharing answers, cheating, talking during a quiz or a test, using your phone during a test, unauthorized notes. That doesn't matter because guess what? Every quiz you take in this room is open note. Take great notes, okay? Because you can use your notes on a quiz. Can you use your phone? Never. You can't use your phone. AI generated content, don't do that. Sharing details or assignments with others. If a friend comes to you and says, "Oh my gosh, I didn't finish this last night. Can I please copy your paper?" Guys, don't do that. Don't do that. It's only hurting yourself and that other person because number one, if you get caught doing that, and I promise you, you might think it's not easy to get caught in math. I've caught quite a few students last term cheating. You will get a 0 on that assignment. That can really hurt your grade. I would hate for you to have to retake a class because you were caught copying answers or giving answers out. If you are in a situation where you forgot to do something, you need more time on an assignment, instead of asking for someone to give you the answers, just talk to me. I am very understanding, okay? I went through high school. I went through a lot of years of school. I understand that life happens outside of school, and sometimes you don't get things done on time. If you communicate with me, I will work with you, okay? Just try not to make that a habit. But yeah, violations, basically, if you're caught cheating, may result in loss of credit for the assignment and additional disciplinary action. Get put on your record. Colleges can see that. Future jobs might be able to see that. You don't want to be labeled as a cheater. That's like one of the worst things you can get labeled as. Because at the end of the day, when you cheat, you're lying. Don't be a liar.
You're not going to know it yourself.
Right, right. And you know, one little cheat can, there's a snowball effect that happens. I think, oh, I'm just going to copy this one answer. And then maybe you felt a little guilty at first, but then you get over it. And so the next time, maybe I'm like, oh, I can copy two answers. That turns into three. That turns into four. That turns into lying to your mom, lying to your kids, lying to your spouse. That turns into getting arrested. Oh my gosh, guys. This is, I don't know. That's a little dramatic, but
That's an extreme.
you never know. It could happen.
Massive.
Have integrity. Do the right thing, even when you think no one is watching. Okay. All right, that's our classroom agreement. Do we have any questions in general about how this class works? If questions arise, ask me. I'm here to help. There is one other paper that you should have in your folder, and that is this. It's titled Day 1 Exit Ticket. This is your first assignment. This is what it says. So first of all, it's due on Friday. Most of you will be able to finish this in the next 10 minutes. Attendance in class is extremely important. If you anticipate any absences during this term, please list them below. So for example, if you know every single Tuesday you will not be here because you work, write that on here so that I can excuse those absences for you in advance. Now, just because you tell me you won't be here does not mean that you automatically get extended due dates, and you got to talk to me about that kind of stuff. Okay. Yes, sure. And if you ever, let's say you turn this in and you forgot a date, tell me. I will write it down for you, and I'll make sure that that gets excused.
October 13th.
What'd you say?
October 13th.
October
That's
3rd.
next Monday.
Okay. Let's see. I'll write that here. So in this space, you can write, if you know, like, oh, I have a doctor appointment on November 10th. That's like a while from now. But then also absent this is an example, every Wednesday for work. Okay. Just make sure that you're telling me when you won't be here, because if you don't, and then all of a sudden I notice you're gone every single Wednesday and you never told me that, that's 5 points every Wednesday that you're getting 0 out of 5 for. It will add up. Yes, it will add up, because there's 8 weeks in this term. 8 times 5, that's 40 points off your grade. All you got to do is communicate with me, whether it be in writing, email, post on Google Classroom. Just let me know some way, somehow. And then below that, I have a section that says, please list anything else you would like me to know. This is for anything. You can leave it blank. You can write whatever you want. I have some students tell me, I have anxiety and I might need to step out of the room. Great. You don't have to tell me that, but if it's something you want me to be aware of, anything that's going to help me help you, this is a great place to put that. These are private. I'm not going to share them with anyone, unless, of course, there's something that is heavily concerning. I don't know of a good example for that, but yeah, you don't have to write anything, but if there's anything you want me to know, that's where you put it. Then at the bottom, you will print your name. So, for example, I would write Taylor Gable, which, by the way, many of you will think that that is Goble. If you ever forget, on here, Gable is pronounced Gable. Doesn't look like it, but it is. Okay. But most of you will probably never even say my last name. Most will just say Taylor. But in case you were curious. Then your signature. Give me an autograph. In case any of you get famous, then I can become rich. And then the date today is 10/6/25. So at this time, I am going to set a timer for 10 minutes. I want to give you guys time to look at maybe your calendars if you have it. Fill these out, turn them into me. If you need to take this home to look at your schedule that you don't have with you, that is fine. This is due on Friday. You have all week to fill this out. A good question, where do I turn things in? Well, up here at the front of the room, there are two trays. One says Algebra 2, one says Geometry. Turn your stuff in the Geometry tray. If you put things in your folder, I will never see it. And then you're going to get zeros on that, and that's happened before, but we figured it out. This is where you turn things in. Your folders is where I give graded work back to you. So that's just the way it goes in this room. So I guess that's it for this classroom agreement. I'm going to end this recording for this portion. I'm going to set a 10-minute timer. When that timer goes off, we're going to start our first unit in geometry. So that's the end for this part.